What's up, everybody? So I'm at the 2021 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. My car is here in a special display. Everyone's still kind of setting up for the show, but I've been noticing some really unique cars out there with really wild trick paint, like old school custom paint, candy, lace, flake, all that cool stuff from the 60s and 70s. So I figured I'd do a video just showcasing some of that cool old school paint style. Some of these are going to be original untouched cars from back in the day, and some are going to be modern styles of that old school look. So let's take a look at some of these cars and see what they got. So this 1970 Cuda behind me it's amazing. The guy has owned this car for over 50 years, and this car was painted the way you see it back in 1980. So this is untouched, 1980 custom styling, custom paint, big old chrome blower motor, straight out of old car magazine from 1980, and I love it. So check this thing out. That is one thing you do not see these days on a lot of custom cars that you saw back in the 80s and the late 70s. I guess you'd see it in a lot of lowrider, shows, but this etched glass, you just don't see that anymore. Guys used to have their glass windows custom cut like that. And that's a really cool feature to see on this car. Back when I was a kid, you saw that stuff all over the place at car shows. You just do not see it anymore. Flames on this are so awesome. The color of this car, it may look black on some of the video, but this is a really deep cherry finish, like a cherry red maroon with beautiful ghost flames that pop up through it. I mean, this is something I would have seen at World of Wheels as a kid in 1980, and I would have been drooling over it. My dad probably would have been like, I don't like all that chrome stuff under the hood. My dad was all about original cars, but now I think he'd dig it for sure. this car is a straight up 1980 time capsule. So cool. Oh, look at all that custom paint underneath. Wow, you gotta see this. Hold on. What the hell is that noise? It's got to be the fan blowing in here or something. But anyway, so far this car gets my vote as coolest custom car of the show so far. So let's see what else is out there, because there's some badass stuff rolling in. This old school Daytona is awesome. That paint's been on there forever. However, the next one I'm about to show you is freaking amazing. So this 1970 Plymouth Superbird behind me. Here, let's get the car. This car has a 426 Hemi. It was drag raced its whole life and only has 2,000 original miles on this car. 2,000 miles on the car, literally driven a quarter mile at a time. Yes.
I thought I'd get you.
That was good timing. Here I am bragging about your car. We got to hear it.
I saw you do that. We're just gonna, what do they call it, photobomb you.
You photobombed the shit out of me. How was that? It's going on YouTube, man. I'm doing a video on all the cool paint jobs here.
Yeah.
Car's incredible.
Thank you. We're getting out of the heat for a while.
That was awesome. So this car will pop a frickin' wheelie. When's the last time you ever saw a Superbird pop a wheelie? Not to mention the cool paint job. All right, like I said, I'm here focusing on old school paint. This is a true time capsule of its time from 1970. I mean, a lot of you out there probably hate this stuff, but I know a lot of you love it like I do. It's all stuff that I would have seen as a kid at big car shows, and you know, all the custom paint jobs back in the day really were pretty radical and trippy like this. So to see these tricked out paint jobs survive to this day is a big treat for people like me that were there back in as little kids back in the day. You know, it's so cool that they're all going to be at this show today, and I'm going to show you some more, so hang tight. Plymouth behind me is one of my favorite. Crazy paint jobs in here as well. You'll see why with all these amazing patterns and scallops on the deck lid of this car. Check this out. Those of you that aren't familiar with this, when I said the term lace at the beginning of this video, this is what I mean. They would actually take lace, you know, like doilies and lace fabric, and use that as patterns to build up over these paint jobs. You could see the lace, you know, cloth pattern that they painted over and layered it to make it look like that. It's so cool. It's definitely come back big time these days. You see a lot of guys emulating that old trick paint style. It's just, this thing is badass, man. The colored green and the gold. God, look at this. In the lowrider, you know, the lowrider world, there's a lot of painted tops, they call them, where they do the roofs of the car, all crazy intricate paint jobs like this. And that could be a whole other video in itself, but you'll have to start looking up and Google painted top cars, like painted lowrider tops, and you're gonna see some cool stuff out there. But this thing is really wild. Always a treat to see something this cool and this unique. And especially, it's an old race car. Old Hemi race car. Just cool as hell. Now, on to the next car, which belongs to a friend of mine. This is one of my favorite Cudas in the whole Cuda world. This car is bad to the bone. He races this car. He also painted this car himself. Check this thing out. All right. Our buddy Tommy Baker drag races this 70 Cuda, and it's had different motors in its past, like 383s and a Hemi. I believe it's got the Hemi in it now, but this is one fast quarter-mile car. But the way he painted this car, every time I see this car, I stop it, I start taking pictures of it. I got a million photos of it from 3 years ago. The thing is just beautiful. It reminds me of old Sox and Martin racing colors, the red, white, and blue. And he just took it a step further, making it that old trick paint style, and named it the best name ever, the Trippin' Fish. Look at this sucker. I'm going to try and sneak in a clip of this thing at the drag strip and show you what it's capable of, because it's a fast little car. Check it out. Too bad we can't hear it running, or can we? Look at the shaker bubble. Let me adjust the camera. This is probably my favorite part of the whole thing. That shaker bubble with those circles on it. And then, I don't know if you can catch this in here, but there's lace mixed into that red, the lace pattern. So this not only reminds me of old school custom cars, but if you were a kid in the 70s and early 80s, and you went to the carnival and rode those little cars that went around circles, you just sit there like an idiot. They had that real heavy metal flake paint on them. They had little round lights all over them. That shaker reminds me of those carnival rides, which I've loved as a kid. So once again, I'll get the camera on that. Even just that little squirt of blue under the Hemi Cuda is so awesome. Tommy, you did such a great job with this car. Every time he brings this car to an event, I start drooling. '68 Superbird here with trick paint. That's the cool thing about this class. It's not really a class. It's kind of a lifestyle, kind of a just a car culture thing that happened back in the day, and it's now here again today. The good thing about it is everything is so different. You know, all these other cars, they're either solid shades of color with stripes. When you get into the custom paint, you don't know what you're gonna see. You know, you see that gold leaf in those letters, that's so cool. This one's very nicely done. We had a '64 GTO that used to be a race car. Before my dad redid the whole car, you could see those patterns on the side of our GTO. It was candy apple red with all that kind of stuff in the doors, and the roof of the car had it. So this car really reminds me of that. Another extremely vintage color from back in the day that didn't necessarily have to be all crazy, you know, graphics wise. It was just a solid color, not too solid, but it was known as candy apple red. This Dodge Dart behind me is a beautiful shade of that candy apple paint, and it is freaking gorgeous. Check this baby out. like when I was a kid, you saw candy apple red Chevelles and Novas everywhere. You just don't see candy apple cars much anymore. You know, at least not in the muscle car world where I hang out, but this thing's gorgeous. Really nice restoration, beautiful build. No, they spared no expense on this thing. Everything's perfect. That's awesome. They just keep rolling in, man. Like one badass car after another. I saw the one Charger coming in, and then this thing rolled in. God, I'm in trick paint heaven today. I'm guessing there's some more showing up still, so let's hang out and see what else is coming in the building. All right, maybe in some of my past videos, and I think earlier in this video I may have mentioned a custom painter out there that stands above the rest, at least in my mind. He's incredible. He goes by the name Tuki, and he paints incredible custom, old school, you know, trick paint looking custom car paint schemes. And one of his masterpieces is right behind me. Not one, but two of them. And I followed this car on Instagram as it was being painted by Tuki, and to see it here at the show today is just awesome. Check this Charger out. This is a 71 Dodge Charger drag car that the owner, John McCabe, had Tuki paint with this old school crazy paint scheme right out of a 1970 Plymouth ad or Dodge ad. I mean, it's just incredible. Those of you that know the old Mopar ads, the Dodge and Plymouth, this paint scheme is right out of those magazine ads. He's got all the candy colors in there and these stripes, all the metal flake. And if you go to Tuki's Instagram, Tuki, T-U-K-I, you'll see the progression of this paint job he did, amongst other amazing cars he's painted. He's a master of what he does. He's definitely mastered the art of old school custom paint. And I can tell you what, I've been thinking very, very seriously about having him do a car one day in a crazy old trick paint, you know, late 60s, 70s style. This thing is bad to the bone. It's got a big old Hemi in it. And the owner is an awesome guy. I met him, became friends with him. Dude's got a killer car. And I told him just seeing the car in person at this show was a big treat after following this whole ordeal go down on Instagram. So, moving on to this other one here. I believe this could be Tuki's personal car. Yep, Travis Tuki Hess. See it there? This 64 Dodge 440 is his personal race car. And you're gonna get a good taste of what this man is capable of when it comes to trick paint. Just incredible. I am this close to buying a 69 Superbird and having him make a crazy, badass, old school custom out of it like this. Look at that. I mean, look at all this in here, in that stripe. All that little detail going on in there. That's so cool. I've loved this stuff since I was a kid. I was around in the 70s and 80s, obviously. And I remember seeing this stuff on cars, you know, at car shows or big events like the World of Wheels. And man, seeing it come back and being such a big part of today's car culture is awesome. Those flames are just bad to the bone, man. So find Tuki. You can find Tuki on Instagram. Pretty easy. I think it's Tuki Paints It. T-U-K-I Paints It. I think that's his Instagram handle. Go follow him. He is an awesome dude. He's real cool. I've talked to him and his father. His dad's got a badass Barracuda race car that he painted up like this. And dude, I am seriously thinking of doing something like this one day. Forget the concourse restorations anymore. I need something like that. Not a drag car, but just a badass muscle car with that kind of paint scheme.